Hi, welcome back to Grow Through English podcast. I'm Tom, and this is part 2 of our deep dive into the science of sleep and brain health. In part 1, we discovered how poor sleep can make the brain look older than it really is. Now in part 2, we'll find out why that happens and what's actually going on inside the brain when we don't get enough good sleep. We'll talk about inflammation, the brain's special cleaning system called the glymphatic system, and how all these processes work together to shape our brain health over time. The link to the full article is in the description if you'd like to read along. Let's jump right in. Sentence 23. We were able to investigate the role of inflammation thanks to blood samples collected from participants at the beginning of the study. Plain meaning the researchers could study inflammation because they had blood samples from participants taken at the start of the study. Key phrase, thanks to, means because of or due to something positive. Example, we arrived on time thanks to your clear directions. Sentence 24. These samples contain a wealth of information about different inflammatory biomarkers circulating in the body. Plain meaning the blood samples had lots of details about chemicals in the body that show inflammation. Key phrase, a wealth of means a large amount or variety of something valuable. Example, the internet provides a wealth of information about any topic. Sentence 25. When we factored this into our analysis, we found that inflammation levels accounted for about 10% of the connection between sleep and brain aging. Plain meaning when scientists included inflammation data in their study, they discovered it explained around 10% of the link between sleep quality and brain aging. Key phrase, account for, means to explain or be responsible for something. Example, poor diet may account for many health problems. Sentence 26. Other processes may also play a role. Plain meaning, there might be other reasons that also affect brain aging besides inflammation. Key phrase, play a role, means to have an effect or influence on a situation. Example, genetics play a role in how tall you grow. Sentence 27. Another explanation centers on the glymphatic system, the brain's built-in waste clearance network, which is mainly active during sleep. Plain meaning, another reason might be the glymphatic system, a part of the brain that removes waste and works mostly while we sleep. Key phrase, clearance, means the process of removing or cleaning something away. Example, proper waste clearance is important for keeping the city clean. Sentence 28. When sleep is disrupted or insufficient, this system may not function properly, allowing harmful substances to build up in the brain. Plain meaning, if we don't sleep well or long enough, the brain's cleaning system can't work correctly, and toxins can collect inside the brain. Key phrase, insufficient, means not enough or too little. Example, insufficient sleep can make you feel tired all day. Sentence 29. Yet another possibility is that poor sleep increases the risk of other health conditions that are themselves damaging for brain health, including type 2 diabetes, obesity, and cardiovascular disease. Plain meaning, another possible reason is that poor sleep causes diseases like diabetes, obesity, and heart problems, which also hurt the brain. Key phrase, cardiovascular disease, means illness related to the heart and blood vessels. Example, exercise helps reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. Sentence 30. Our study is one of the largest and most comprehensive of its kind, benefiting from a very large study population, a multidimensional measure of sleep health, and a detailed estimation of brain age through thousands of brain MRI features plain, meaning this study is one of the biggest and most detailed ever done, using lots of people, many sleep measures, and advanced brain scans. Key phrase: comprehensive means complete and covering all or nearly all details. Example: the company made a comprehensive plan for the next 5 years. Sentence 31. Though previous research connected poor sleep to cognitive decline and dementia, our study further demonstrated that poor sleep is tied to a measurably older-looking brain, and inflammation might explain this link. Plain meaning, earlier studies showed bad sleep affects thinking and memory, but this study proved it also makes the brain look older, possibly because of inflammation. Key phrase: demonstrated means clearly showed or proved something with evidence. Example: the experiment demonstrated how plants grow faster with sunlight. Sentence 32. Brain aging cannot be avoided, but our behavior and lifestyle choices can shape how it unfolds. Plain meaning, we can't stop the brain from aging, but our habits and way of living can influence how fast or slow it happens. Key phrase: unfold means to develop or happen gradually over time. Example: the story of her career unfolded slowly over many years. Sentence 33. The implications of our research are clear. To keep the brain healthier for longer, it is important to make sleep a priority. Plain meaning, the lesson from this study is simple. We should treat sleep as something important if we want our brains to stay healthy. Key phrase: make something a priority means to give it special attention or importance. Example: you should make your health a priority, not an option. Sentence 34. People with 4 or 5 healthy traits had a healthy sleep profile, while those with 2 to 3 had an intermediate profile, and those with 0 or 1 had a poor profile. Plain meaning, people who had 4 or 5 good sleep habits were classified as having healthy sleep. 2 to 3 habits meant average sleep, and 1 or none meant poor sleep. Key phrase: trait means a particular quality or characteristic of a person. Example: patience is an important personality trait for teachers. Sentence 35. When we compared brain age across different sleep profiles, the differences were clear. Plain meaning, when the researchers looked at brain ages among the 3 groups, the results showed obvious differences. Key phrase: compare means to look at 2 or more things to see how they are similar or different. Example: the teacher asked students to compare 2 poems. Sentence 36. The gap between brain age and chronological age widened by about 6 months for every 1-point decrease in healthy sleep score. Plain meaning, for every drop in the sleep score, the brain looked about 6 months older than the person's real age. Key phrase: chronological age means your actual age in years since birth. Example: his chronological age is 50, but his fitness age is 35. Sentence 37. On average, people with a poor sleep profile had brains that appeared nearly 1 year older than expected based on their chronological age, while those with a healthy sleep profile showed no such gap. Plain meaning, people with bad sleep had brains that looked about 1 year older than they really were, but people who slept well had normal-looking brains. Key phrase: on average means generally or when you calculate the mean result. Example: on average, cats sleep about 14 hours a day. Sentence 38. We also considered the 5 sleep characteristics individually. Late chronotype and abnormal sleep duration stood out as the biggest contributors to faster brain aging. Plain meaning, when looking at each sleep factor separately, being a night owl and sleeping too little or too much caused the fastest brain aging. Key phrase: stood out means to be noticeable or clearly different from others. Example: Her bright red dress stood out in the crowd. Sentence 39. A year may not sound like much, but in terms of brain health, it matters. Plain meaning 1 year might seem small, but for brain health, it makes a real difference. Key phrase, in terms of, means when we talk about or focus on a specific aspect. Example, in terms of money, this project will cost very little. Sentence 40. Even small accelerations in brain aging can compound over time, potentially increasing the risk of cognitive impairment, dementia, and other neurological conditions. Plain meaning, even a small increase in brain aging can build up as years pass, making people more likely to have memory loss or brain diseases. Key phrase, compound over time, means to slowly add up or get worse as time goes on. Example, if you ignore small problems, they can compound over time. Sentence 41. The good news is that sleep habits are modifiable. Plain meaning, the positive part is that we can change and improve our sleep habits. Key phrase, modifiable, means something can be changed or adjusted. Example, your diet and sleep schedule are modifiable factors for health. Sentence 42. While not all sleep problems are easily fixed, simple strategies, keeping a regular sleep schedule, limiting caffeine, alcohol, and screen use before bedtime, and creating a dark and quiet sleep environment can improve sleep health and may protect brain health. Plain meaning, even though some sleep issues are hard to solve, simple habits like going to bed at the same time, avoiding caffeine or phones before bed, and sleeping in a dark, quiet room can help improve sleep and protect your brain. Key phrase, sleep schedule, means the planned times when you usually go to bed and wake up. Example, keeping a consistent sleep schedule helps you feel more energetic. And that brings us to the end of part 2 of this episode. We've learned that when sleep is poor or interrupted, it can raise inflammation in the body, stop the brain from clearing out waste properly, and even increase the risk of other health problems like diabetes and heart disease, all of which can speed up brain aging. In part 3, we'll explore the final section of the article, where researchers explain how our daily sleep habits can either accelerate or protect the brain from aging, and what simple steps we can take to improve. If you're enjoying learning English through real science stories, don't forget to follow and share Grow Through English podcast.